Good to see you again.
Hey, Ed. Kristen.
fine,
How are you? See ya.
So shy.
Hey, Ed. I'm Jeff. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for coming in this morning.
There's a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah, man. We figure if we load the studio with like the more people, someone's gonna say something funny.
There you go.
then I could hit a button.
That actually works because it can get quite awkward. English radio is just one person, so sometimes it can get quite awkward.
What do you mean?
you're
So
there.
it's like one guy hosting the show?
Yeah, so you're kind of looking for something to say sometimes,
Yeah.
and there's not much.
And British humor's different than American humor.
I mean, it's better.
It's a little drier, right?
It is, yeah, it is. But that's why you guys get shows like The Office, and
Right.
actually, I think that's the only thing that's crossed over.
But there's
but I mean, actually, your humor has Family Guy, so you probably win on that.
there's got to be a time that your dry humor has gotten you in trouble, like on an American radio show or something.
No, because I feel like Americans expect it from British people. It's definitely got me in trouble on British radio before, because sometimes British people don't expect it from British people. When I come on, you instantly make like a joke like me saying our humor's better. That's like dry humor. So you
Right.
guys are instantly like, oh, he's British. This will be fun. Whereas in England, if you start off with that, they're kind of like, oh, is he? Like,
Is he serious?
What's going on? Yeah.
I think there's also a built-in. You've got a little leeway in America because you've got a British accent, and that makes everything sound cooler.
Does it?
Yeah,
Does it
I
actually
think
make
so.
everything
no,
sound
it's
cooler?
not cooler. It's sexier.
Sexier.
Mm-hmm.
Sexier.
Which
Is
is why-
it really? Because I find like when I was doing the track Sing, they wanted me to do an intro on it. Pharrell was kind of like, yo, on my songs, I always go, yo, what up, Virginia? And Virginia love me for that. And when you're from New York, you like, yo, what up, New York? And New York gonna love you for that. So you need to shout out where you from. And I was like, well, I'm from a place called Suffolk, mate. So I don't know if that's gonna work. So there was an original of me being like, hey, yeah, what up, Suffolk? So there's sexier and then there's just awkward. And I think the English accent makes everything sound more awkward because I can't say what's up, Virginia?
Right.
What's popping? You know, it doesn't really sound.
Are you comfortable at all with, because, you know, you are now being described as sexy Ed Sheeran. Are you at all embracing, yeah, maybe I got a sexy side?
No, I just think that like for the rest of the time, man with guitar equals somewhat attractive to women, and it doesn't matter whether you're fat, thin, ginger, not ginger. Like it's just man with guitar. So I know it's not a physical thing. It's more of a mental thing. It's more of a, oh yeah, we can relate to this guy who plays love songs rather than like I want to put the poster
But
on my wall.
you're like a 2 of 3 because you've got the guitar. Well, 3 of 4. You got the guitar. You can sing. You've got the accent. If you held a puppy,
Oh my God,
you would
yeah.
explode.
Right.
Like the sexiness would be so.
He wouldn't explode. The women around them
The women
would.
around, yeah, would just explode all around.
So I
you.
just carry. Have you seen that Trinidad James video where he just carries around a puppy? Have you seen that?
No.
Do you know that song "All Gold Everything"?
Yeah.
It's like a hood hit. You know, oh, got gold all in my watch. Don't believe me, just it's him topless, holding a puppy, rapping to the camera with
Some
like
guys can pull
gold
that
teeth
off,
and gold,
yeah.
gold everything.
Yeah, some guys can pull that off.
If he
no
can do
problem.
it,
Done.
You won't remember the very first time that we met, but I appreciated your candor so much. It was it last year or 2 years ago? We were in Vegas, and it was the Billboard Music Awards, and I was invited to hang out with you and by Scooter Braun and Cy and the Florida Georgia Line guys.
oh blimey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Blimey,
So I come right up to you after I've been invited to this dinner, and I put my hand out to shake your hand, and you immediately say to me, bloke, I'm up right now. And I thought, you know what? You set the tone. I appreciate the honesty, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh god. All right. Yeah.
That was a good night, huh?
Oh, it was an amazing night.
It
yeah,
was.
but blimey, yeah, that was. Oh god. Was it? I don't think it was even a dinner. I think it was a club. And I remember standing on a chair.
Yeah.
And being very happy that Cy had dedicated Gangnam Style to me. This one for my friend Ed Sheeran. I'm like, yeah, mate, sick. And I had one of those electronic. No, I had 3 of those electronic cigarettes
Okay.
that I was just chaining in the club, and I was so happy that you could smoke these electronic cigarettes in the club. And as soon as one run out, I'd chuck it away and start the other one. I must have because they hold about 100 cigarettes in them, so I must have had around 200 easily.
I learned later that the video for Sing was based on a wild night that you had with Psy, and I started to wonder. I wonder if that was the Vegas night.
It wasn't that night,
Different
no.
wild night.
Different wild. There was actually a few wild nights with Psy.
Is Psy is every night with Psy a wild night?
Yeah, I tend to stay away a little bit. Like I go there when you want to really wake up the next morning covered in your own bodily fluids and not really know. But no, let's think of a wild one. Like I was in London one time, and he owns a Korean restaurant in London, and he was playing in London, and we walked in, and so there's about 25 people in there, all wearing Psy masks, every one of them. And I don't know which one's Psy because they're all wearing Psy masks. So I kind of sit down and hang out with them for a bit and chat to people. And then suddenly they all remove their masks, and the only one that doesn't remove their mask, who has a hole in it for a cigarette, is Psy. So yeah, there's that. But there's this Korean drink called suju, which is their equivalent of vodka or something like that. And he does this drink where you pour a little bit of beer into a cup and a little bit of suju, or a lot of suju, whatever you want to do, and then you put a napkin over the top of it and you shake it, and it suddenly froths up, and you have to instantly put it to your mouth, and it just projects itself down you. So he does that, and he's like, suju, and had it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then he was like, right, waterfall time. So the waterfall is where you have 25 people in a circle, and you do this suju thing, and you down it, and when you're halfway down it, the next person starts. When they're halfway down it, the next person starts. Well, what I didn't know is once the waterfall's over, you start again, and you do the waterfall again, and then you do the waterfall again, and then you do the waterfall again, and then next thing you know, it all goes downhill from there, and you're in a karaoke bar singing.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
He's hardcore. I've got a couple of friends like that also. I call them 3-day friends, because if you're going to go out with them, you have to carb load. You have to drink water on the first day. You got to have a good base. Then you drink with them. That's the second day. And then the third day, it's recovery day. And Sai's one of those dudes.
See, I feel like I'm one of those dudes to people, though. See, I feel like those dudes are people to me, but the guy that directs my music videos is in town now, and we're shooting a music video today, and every time I see him, he's just like, oh man, you always get me so drunk, it's always you. And every time I see this guy Benny Blanco, who I did the Don't song with, he's like, oh man, every time I see you, you always get me. And I feel like these people do it to me, but apparently I do it to them.
Maybe
Pass
it's
it on.
you.
Pass it forward. Yeah.
It's time to look inward.
I do make everyone start the night off with a Jaeger bomb, though. That's
Oh my
Sets
God.
the
rule.
tone. Yes.
That takes me back. Oh, we used to do those all the time.
Why don't you do them anymore?
Because I'm old.
Do you have an alcohol that just doesn't agree with you? Like tequila for me makes me feel tall and mean, which is bad when you're 5'4". Do you have an alcohol that never treats you right?
I tell you one, yeah, probably beer. Probably beer, to be honest. I can have 2 beers and be drunk, whereas I can drink half a bottle of whiskey and not be drunk.
Really?
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I don't know if it's the Irish in me, but whiskey doesn't seem to hit me in the same way that beer does. I'll have 2 Coronas and just be very cuddly, and then I'll have 3 Coronas and then I'll be very sad. Whereas with whiskey, I just get more and more and more chilled.
Like NASA's going to call and say, we want to take a look inside of you. How do you do this?
Yeah, I don't know. But to be honest, I'd rather be able to drink a lot of beer than a lot of whiskey, because I often find myself in a situation where people are like, hey, do you want a beer? And I have to be like, no, sorry.
Do you have whiskey?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that makes me sound like an alcoholic.
But that could be why everybody thinks you're the party guy, because if they walk into a room and you're drinking a whiskey, they assume, because most people drink whiskey to make it a night.
Mm-hmm.
If they walk into a room and you're drinking whiskey, they're like, oh, it's ready to go.
It's like tea for you in England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, just beer, man. Beer's heavy.
Bad
It's
for
very heavy, and I was on stage the other day, and I never drink on stage, but I just did this pop-up secret show that we booked there and then that night, and I was like, I'm going to have a cold beer on stage. That sounds like something I'll do. And I had 3, and by the end of it, I was spangled, and I was just, I didn't know what was going on.
Ed Sheeran joining the Bert Show this morning.
So what was the drink of choice at Scooter Braun's wedding?
Oh, yeah, man.
The drink of choice. I was looking for espresso martinis, because I thought when you're that kind of dude and you take 20% off that kind of dude, your wedding bar is going to be all right.
It's going to be stacked.
They did do cocktails. They just didn't have coffee. So, yeah, no espresso martinis. What did I have? Everyone kept giving me tequila shots.
It looked like an awesome party.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. Gin and tonic I had a Coca-Cola just before I played to try and sober myself up, which didn't work very well. Champagne, some lemony drink.
All right, let's save some time. What didn't you drink
Right.
at Scooter O'Brien's wedding?
Water.
Were you
Water.
so drunk at the time? Because I, from what I understand, like Tom Hanks got up and did some kind of song as a rabbi. Were you so drunk where you're like, am I seeing this right now? Or is this really Tom
No,
Hanks?
because, mate, like, when you're in that situation, you're not watching what Tom Hanks on the stage is doing. You're watching what your feet and your moves are doing. I'm cutting some serious shapes to This Is How We Do It. Like, I'm not interested in anything that's going on around me. I'm getting down with it. So
Who would you love to have like surprise sing at your wedding? Because I know Scooter, everybody was just popping up on stage with
I
the
don't
band.
think any of that was a surprise though. Scoot was one of these people that plans all of that. Like there was a bit where Justin got up and sung "All You Need Is Love" the same way as Love Actually. Like that, like musicians just don't turn up with their instruments
So
to
it was
weddings,
scripted.
you know.
It's a reality
And go,
TV wedding.
oh, we're doing this now. Oh, cool. Like it's all planned out.
So
It's
there was
all
a run
planned
of
out.
show for Scooter's wedding.
Yeah,
somewhere.
pretty much.
Yeah. Like Carly sung "Brian Our Girl" for the dad-daughter first dance. I sung my song for the first dance, and then after that, nothing was planned. We all got drunk and jumped up on stage and stole the microphone and did
Fun.
everything.
That
But
sounds like
But
yeah,
such a blast.
there was a certain plan, but no, it was fun. Who would I like to surprise sing at my wedding?
Yeah.
Someone nice, someone that you'd want to get drunk with afterwards, because like you wouldn't want to like book someone. Actually, I wouldn't want to book someone anyway. I wouldn't want to pay anyone to be there. If they want to be there, they'll be there. But yeah, I wouldn't want someone to just be there, do the job, and then bugger off. I'd want them to actually want to be there. So yeah.
You don't even have weddings on your mind now, though. do you?
Bublé probably.
Oh, he would be awesome.
Bublé would be a good
Bublé?
one.
He'd be fun. Michael
Yeah.
Bublé.
He likes to drink as well. So
Would you sing
that'd
at
be
your
good.
own wedding? Would that
No.
be something?
No, that'd be weird. That'd be weird.
Right.
You wouldn't even
That'd be-
serenade the bride or the wifey?
No, because the one I'd be getting married to would find that creepy, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What are you, like 23 years old? You can't be thinking about weddings right now.
No, I'm not. But like, I don't know. People do get married eventually.
Yeah.
You can't just put it out the back. I'll be 50 if I put it out the back of my mind.
As a
and
guy
stop
that's been
thinking
married
about
20 years, listen to my advice. Wait.
it. Are you not happy?
Wait, no, I'm it's not that I'm not happy. It's just I think as a guy that's 23 years old, that is you, that is traveling around the world, I would sample all that the world has to
But dude,
offer before I settle down.
I moved out of home at 16, and I've been on the road for almost 10 years now. I've sampled everything you need to sample.
Is that
like,
right?
I'm good. I'm
So
good.
he's advanced, even at his age. He's
Right.
advanced.
I've purposefully been in situations where I've been like, should I do this? Should I not do this? I'm just going to experience it. That sounds pretty bad, actually.
No,
but-
it sounds
yeah.
great.
No, but I've
Bert might
done,
leave with you if you keep talking like
I've
this.
It's
done-
23. It's fantastic.
I've done in my mind. I've done everything that I needed to have done to not regret anything. To not ever get married and be like, oh, I wish I'd done that, because I've done it. Like I've got it out of the way. If I was to get married now, which I'm not, but I'm just saying, like I don't have like a time
Yeah.
limit on it. My parents got married at 24, and my
Oh, yeah.
grandparents got married at 22. So people do get married around this time anyway. And most of my mates are getting married and having kids. But I'm good.
Give us one of those examples you were just talking about where you came to the crossroads and you're like, should I do this or shouldn't I do it? And you're like, screw it. I'm going to go do it.
There's many occasions where I've just risked not having a place to stay to just go out on a mad one and then end up somewhere.
Mhm.
So it's like, I'm trying to think. Okay, so this is completely unrelated to relationship stuff, but I've worked quite hard promoting this album.
Sure.
Don't get a lot of sleep. When sleep comes, it's needed. Granted, it's good. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got a text from Ursher, ATL,
Mhm.
Peace Up, A-Town Down, saying, in studio with Skrillex, you want to come? And instead of me being like, I'm going to sleep, I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. That sounds awesome. We finished at like 6. I started a radio session at 8. So I was like not in a good state the next day, but got a good song done. It was a great experience. I had a studio session with 2 people I never thought I'd have a studio session with, and that was an experience where I was like, let's just go for it. But you can place that in situations that aren't musical as well.
Isn't that is the rumor of you crashing at Jamie Foxx's house? Is that a true story?
Exactly the same thing.
Same
yeah,
thing?
Exactly the same thing.
You're
Except
like, you know what? I'm going to go to L.A. with nowhere to stay, and maybe I'll run into somebody who'll let me
Well, I
crash.
didn't get off the plane and get a cab to his house though. Like it
Okay.
was a bit of a different situation. I'd already lived on different people's couches for about a month before that. Yeah.
And how did you guys cross paths?
Through the Sirius XM radio show. I met his manager when I played his venue, the Foxhole, and his manager was like, "Come on the show."
Uh-huh.
So I did the show, and then he gave me his email, and yeah, there was some dodginess as well involving some other people. So I had to escape that, which is why I went to his house.
There's a story behind a story here too, if it's true, that as soon as you got off the plane in like LA, it's like your first trip to America. Like, didn't some girl dump you? Like
Huh?
you were coming out here. There's a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, that you were in a relationship with a girl out in Los Angeles, and as soon as the plane lands, she breaks up with you in California. No truth to that?
Oh, that wasn't then. That was last year.
Oh, it was last year.
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
That was a bit heavier than that though. That was an actual like thing, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and then as soon as I landed, but it was cool. I lived there for 6 months after that.
So you moved specifically to LA for this girl.
I moved specifically to LA to record an album, but there was some other reasons as well, because I was making the album in Nashville, and then it was, do I record it in Nashville or record it in LA? And then that was going on, and I was like, well, I might as well move to LA. So it wasn't as final as that.
Gotcha. All
But
right.
don't most musicians say Heartache brings out some of the best songs in them?
Yeah, but actually, I never used any of the songs that I wrote about that.
No?
No, I mean they were more just like, I don't know, therapy, I guess. Yeah.
Everything has happened so fast for you, it seems like, here over the last couple of years. Are you still at a point now, because I'm sure as your star is rising, and it has risen quickly, that you're being pushed and pulled in a whole bunch of different directions now, and sometimes it becomes less about the music? Are there times there where you're frustrated now, where this isn't about music now, this is about me promoting, or do you miss the studio?
I do miss the studio, and I do miss live shows. It's a give and take situation. I find that this is the best job in the world. I get paid to make people happy. But sometimes it has to feel like a job, you know?
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to wake up in the morning and feel like you're going to work, rather than waking up in the morning and feeling like you've won the lottery. Yeah, I think it's a give and take thing. For me to have music that people listen to, you have to promote it to make sure they do listen to it. And for me to have shows that people go to, you have to do little pop-up shows here now and then. It's a give and take thing that you have to do.
Have you read your buddy Taylor's op-ed article in the Wall Street Journal? Because it's very similar to what you just said.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it, but
Yeah.
I have to actually be a member of the Wall Street Journal online, so you have to like pay a subscription fee to read that.
Yeah.
And like I'm never gonna read it again, so I'm not paying.
She
subscription
she
fee.
said almost the same exact thing that you just said. You just have to make the connection, do the work, and do the hustle to succeed in the record business.
Yeah.
Is there any fear that your celebrity gets so big that the music becomes secondary? Like, I think John Mayer got caught up in that, and I think he even admitted that.
What, that he just
Just that
became
this-
too much of a celebrity?
Yeah, and he forgot he was a musician first, and
The focus is what's going on in his personal life and not
Right.
about his music.
I don't know. I think John Mayer is coming from a different place, having dated Jennifer Aniston, Jessica Simpson, and
Mhm.
Katy Perry. I feel like most men want to do that. So like fair play to him, basically.
Right.
Yeah, and if that clouds his judgment, then fair play as well, because he's living most guys' dreams.
True.
Has the attention and the lack of privacy, now that you're Ed Sheeran, is that something that you're struggling with at all, or is that no problem?
No one's really crossed that line with me. I don't know if I'm that much of a public interest for people to really invade my privacy that much. Either that, or I'm just not in one place for long enough. But I get paps showing up at airports, but that's kind of it. But then I don't really have a fixed address for them to be waiting on the doorstep at, so I don't really know. But yeah, it seems like whenever there's a scandal with me, it dies very quickly. Like no one's really that interested.
Well, now I got sad.
No, I mean,
Bert's asking all the questions that lead right down a sad path.
it's good. I'm quite open in my music in terms of speaking about substances or love or breakup or anything that would be quite controversial. And I think when you're open with your music and open with your fan base, there's never a point where people go, hey, let's point our finger at this guy for doing something that we all do as well. You know, like
Right.
it's I'm quite open with it. So when a scandal comes out and it's like, oh my god, Ed did this, everyone's like, we know, we listen to the music. So it's yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
Ed Sheeran on the Bert Show.
I think the honesty and the openness definitely works to your advantage, because then there's nothing to dig and bring up. Because
there is nothing to dig, and believe me, people try, and there's always like a news headline that's like, oh my god, this happened, and then within the next day, everyone's like, well, yeah, cool. Whereas I feel like if you're clean cut for the whole of your life and you do one bag thing, then that's it.
Is there nothing in your past that you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they haven't found out about that yet?
No, most stuff's come out.
Yeah.
Most stuff come out, but I'm very very open with it. And I think that's probably the way to be. Because yeah, you're never gonna get caught out. And to be honest, we're all human and we all make mistakes. And I'm not having anyone point their finger at me because I know what you guys get up to as well. So,
are you able to disclose any of the details about the music video, or does that have to stay top secret?
No, it doesn't have to stay top secret. It's a choreographed video that I'm not really appearing in. I make a cameo in it, but it's a heavily it's a really cool video. It's a really cool video. It's not like a dance video, but it's very well done. Very well done. It's a guy traveling through different social classes with dance. That sounds really pretentious, but it's a dude who kind of starts off in a kind of proper like hood house, and he's doing his dancing and his foot moving and jiving and then like he kind of runs through the house and he ends up in the next place, which is a bit more middle class, and then he's dressed differently and he's doing some different sort of dancing. It's fun. It's fun. I'll wait for it to come out. It'll be out in like a month, I think.
The album Multiply is just kicking ass right now. Are you the kind of guy that wakes up in the morning and sees how many, like you're conscious of how many records you've sold or how your songs are doing on charts, or you don't even care about any of that stuff?
Oh no, I think that's where the fun is. Like I know a lot of artists are like real musicians, man, and we don't care about that sort of stuff. But like once the music's done, stop being a real musician. Start finding it exciting. Like the music's finished. I've put all my artistic integrity into the music. But once the music's out, I want it to be as big as it possibly is. That's why I signed to a record label. I want it to be the most successful it can be. So yeah, I watch all the radio stats, all the iTunes figures, all the record sale figures, all the video views, everything like that. I think and I'm not the only one who does it. Like Taylor's militant with that as well. Elton John gets everyone's sales sheet. He doesn't even release records anymore, and he's getting everyone's sales sheets through just to check what other people are doing. So yeah, I just think it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. It would get boring just to put out an album and forget about it.
Well, let's set the tone for your rest of your day. Like if you look at that sheet and you didn't sell as many as you thought, will it just like screw up the rest of your day? Like, damn, what do I got to do here?
Yes,
Well.
but thankfully,
Yeah.
we've been overachieving, over indexing. So I'll look at the sheet expecting to see something and see more and be like, oh, that's a surprise.
I'm going back to bed. I'm gonna have some whiskey and a beer.
No, but to be honest, like that, going back to the point about the op-ed thing, it actually makes it all worth it. So I've been busting my guts promoting this album, and then you see the figures and you're like, oh, it's worth it. Cool, I'll carry on doing it. Whereas if I saw the figures and it was like, I'd be like, oh man, screw this. I'm going home.
And let's be honest. I mean, the numbers are cool, but that also means you're making a connection with that many people.
And for me, record sales lead to live shows, which is what I really like to do, and that's kind of why I'm in the industry. So I'll look at those and be like, right, I can play a certain amount in each market, and through the sales of this one, we're moving into arenas everywhere, which I've never done before, like especially in places like India, and Mumbai is India, but Dubai and like Europe. Like we're playing our first arena in France, which I never thought we'd do because France don't buy any of my records. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
You sold out Madison Square Garden 3 straight nights?
Mm-hmm.
That must have been like, have you had a moment on stage where you're like, oh my God, all these people are here to see me. This is this is amazing.
The first MSG gig, yeah, just because I was with loads of my close friends beforehand, and we were just reminiscing about the shows that no one turned up to, and I think I just had those memories in my mind. And then when I walked out on stage for the first one, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Things are pretty real now. But the second and third one, it was quite weird because once the initial boom's gone, you're just doing another show. So the second and the third one were like fun, but there was no like There was no
No
like,
shock value that
No.
it's sold out.
yeah.
All right.
It was just like, oh, cool, we're doing that again.
Ed Sheeran on the Bert Show this morning. Am I missing anything here? We've talked about Sing. We've talked about Multiply. What else you got coming on?
I mean, Don't is the next single.
Don't.
Yeah,
All right.
which you guys just added.
I can hear
Which
you. I have
is-
headphones on.
What, Rob?
And the show coming? Yeah. And the show coming in a couple of months.
Yes, a show I'm playing in Atlanta at the
Where, Rob? Where? At Arena
Winner.
Gwinnett Center.
Winto. Gwinnett.
Gwinnett.
Gwinnett's.
Gwinnett.
Gwinnett's.
Yeah, Gwinnett. Sorry, every single city I'm in, they're like, we got a new show coming up, and they'll all name something different. And I think I've got the Minneapolis one in my head, which was the Targets. Was it
Target Center.
I've
Yeah.
got that in my head. Yeah, I got that in my
This
head.
one is Gwinnett, and you'll love the arena.
What's the date of the show,
It's-
Rob? September 12th.
September 12th.
Your voice has changed.
I'm down. Yeah, so there's that. That's happening. ATL, Shelby. We'll do it.
Is the touring still exciting for you? Because I know you were like on the road every day, weren't you? Like in 2013 or something like that.
Yeah, I've been pretty much on the road every day since I started.
Oof.
I think that's the way to do it. Some artists are single artists who can pop up at clubs and get paid 40 grand a time, and some artists are like album artists who just constantly tour and build up their fan base that way. Like someone like Gavin DeGraw is like he's a road dog. Like he never stops touring, and therefore his fan base never diminishes. Even if there's not a smash hit on the radio, he can still play to the same amount of people. Whereas if you're just a smash hit on the radio, your fans go to the next smash hit on the radio. So I find with touring, if you just constantly tour, you'll never diminish.
What do you call? Where do you call home now? Is there a home? I mean, if you're on the road that
I mean,
much?
England. But even when I'm there, it's not. I can't live there at the moment because it's being renovated.
The whole country?
No, no. Although speaking of renovation,
Yes.
New York roads. What's going on there?
Is it all
They
screwed up?
are bumpy. Something's going on there. Something's going on there. So,
City's in construction all the time, man.
well, obviously not the roads because none of them are smooth. It's like I only found this out when I was really hungover trying to sleep in the car, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Anyway, no, I got a house in a more downbeat area of London, I'll say, like not the nicest area, but it was a nice house, and I just stripped everything out of it. I took all the I basically it was 5 bedrooms and knocked all the walls, so now it's just
Oh, you
one.
just gutted it.
Yeah, everything.
I get the sense that because there are some artists that come in here and they kind of like are faux humble, but I still think it feels to me like you still like you'd rather have a flat in a not great part of town. You don't really want to stay at the Regis, maybe. I don't know. You just
Oh no, I want a sick flat. I just don't want to pay that much money for it.
I'm not humble. I'm just cheap.
He's frugal.
He's
Like,
frugal.
He's
No, but you can-
economical. He didn't read Taylor's article because he didn't want to pay for the
No,
subscription.
basically, in London, the posh part of town is about 5 minutes away from the not posh part of town. So there's probably a £15 million difference between 10 minutes.
It's
so,
the principle.
Yeah,
Plus,
I'm not going to move to Chelsea just because everyone else moves to
Right.
Chelsea. You know,
the real
So-
estate prices in London too make New York look cheap. Like a friend of mine was moving there and with like apartments were like £3 million pounds, whatever, just for a.
It's
It's ridiculous. It's insane.
Insane. But I wanted a nice place to live in London, and I don't really mind living in the rough place.
Yeah.
Mostly because every time I bump into the kids, like the first thing that they're like is like, "Yo, yeah, my cousin listens to you in prison," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. Please don't rob me." Yeah. So I know the kids around there, so it's fine.
Ed Sheeran on the Bert Show. It's great having you in here, man.
Thank you.
Really great.
I have to thank you real quick, and this is going to sound super creepy, but you've changed my post-shower behavior. Because we did an interview a while back, and we did it in bed.
About the
The marination.
marinating.
Yes. And now I marinate all
You
the time,
marinate.
and I think of you.
I
So I
marinated
hope
this
that's not
morning.
creepy.
Ma-
Did you marinate this morning?
I
Is that-
marinate
wait,
every day.
hold
Can
on,
I tell you
explain-
about marination? Okay. This will change your life.
It
All right.
did.
This will change your
It's
life.
changed mine, and I
will change
friggin'
your
love
life.
it.
It's called marinating?
Marinating,
Okay.
because you know when you get a chicken, you want to marinate it, you just soak it in some stuff and you just leave it there for a
He
little
said
bit.
chicken,
so
not chick, by the way.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, you can marinate. I mean,
Right.
marinate them in champagne. Yeah, you have a shower.
Okay.
You get 2 big towels after the shower. You wash your hair, you do all of that. You wrap one towel around you like that,
Yeah.
and you wrap one towel around your head like that, like a monk, like
Mhm.
that, and you just hold it and you just lie in bed and put the cover over you and lie in bed until you're comfortable, and then you get up and dry. Because there've been so many mornings I've woken up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up. Oh, but if I shower, I can marinate, and that's kind of like not getting.
Well, that explains why Kristen's been late to work about once a week ever since that original interview with you.
And smells like wet laundry all the time.
Seriously.
It's so cozy. It's like a little cocoon.
As long as the towels are clean and you're clean, you're not going to get dirty.
I seriously climb into bed and I have my towel wrapped around my head and I get all cozy.
But you have to wrap it like a monk, and then you grab two things, have it like that.
I can't be wet and go back into bed. That would drive me crazy.
But you're
even
dry.
like
No, but
dampish
you're
stuff.
dry because
dry
you're
off.
in. You're not wet getting into bed. You're in a dry towel, wet underneath the towel, but in a dry towel getting into bed, so you're still dry.
You look so creeped out. by
No,
this.
I will try the Ed Sheeran marination.
It is marination,
I will try it.
but it must have come from. I wasn't the first person to do it. It must have come from
I
somewhere.
think you were. I think you're a marinating
You always
pioneer.
remember who told you about the marination. So
I
if
think-
you don't remember it, then it's you.
Well,
Who
no,
came
it
up
probably,
with
no, but it was just, I don't know. I was just a very lazy kid, and I never wanted to go to school. And I think that was my excuse. Just,
Are you in a late? Has that translated over? Are you a lazy adult? Do you think? Because it seems to
I
me
work.
like
I
you're-
work hard at the things I want to work hard at.
Yeah.
But the things that I think are pointless, I don't do. Which I think is a good thing to do. Like I like music. I like the music I make. I work hard promoting the music I make. I work hard touring the music I make. But if anyone says, "Oh, here, do this maths problem. This is trigonometry. Everyone needs to learn that," I'm going to be like, "No, like I got a calculator. Shut up."
Boring, right?
that's what Google's for.
All right, before we take off, I think, Kristen, you should probably. And by the
Please.
way, we must have done such a good job that it wasn't even noticeable, or he's just being nice. Go ahead.
So, Ed, before you got here,
Were you guys playing a trick on me?
No, we're not
no,
playing
no,
a trick
no,
on you, promise.
no.
Before you got here, the boys put on our makeup today. This was something we did on the show, and then we realized we scheduled it right before you were going to be in studio for the interview. And Bert was like, well, we can't switch it. This is perfect. So Bert applied Cassie's makeup, and Jeff applied my makeup today.
So was I meant to walk in and be like, "What happened to you?"
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're so nice and
We-
polite. You didn't say anything.
Yeah, we-
Plus,
Or-
I've noticed
I
that.
think you both look lovely.
Thank you.
Oh,
But
yes.
I will say
Although
that
it should
Cassie
have
has
been
rolled her chair into a shadow. I have
I
noticed
actually
that.
got up and adjusted the light so it blind you when you walked in.
Who's your?
Then when I
who's-
shook your hand, I
Who's
looked
your
away.
next guest? Who's your next guest?
You're it, man. We want
No,
to.
no. Who's the next one? Who's coming?
Who's coming in?
Oh.
Because what
No,
you need to do,
Stop,
Yeah.
we're not doing this again.
Is
No.
you do.
you do theirs.
Oh.
That's what happened. But no
we
one
don't-
says it. So you're just there with blusher and eyeliner and everything, introducing Jason Derulo
You know
or
what-
something.
you
And
know
he's
what's
just
amazing,
like,
Ed,
what the hell
is-
is going on here?
Is we just decided a few minutes ago that you were such a good interview. You're the last guest we're ever going to have. So unfortunately,
did they not tell you?
Yeah.
No. I was brought in to replace you. This is my this is my trial interview.
You're
This is
way
my
funnier
trial
than he
interview.
is. So you wouldn't have known, like you didn't at any point this morning go,
Seriously?
God, those girls look like they've been up all night.
I looked like I was crying in a bathroom, and like I got upset at the club, and I still got bar tar on my feet, and like this is what I look like.
Barter.
Hello, I look like I have raccoon eyes. Somebody put eyeliner not even close to my eye.
I told you, dudes can't tell. That all looks the same to us. Y'all are spending so much time on your makeup, and dudes can't tell the difference.
Look at their faces.
Women can tell.
yeah.
I've been facing Ed so I don't have to look at the women because they will know.
Can we
I'm more
ask-
afraid of that judgment.
Bert does have a point though. Bert does have a point. You guys do spend a lot of time doing your makeup,
We
and
do.
to be, if I'm honest, and tell me if I'm wrong here, guys. Women do look better without makeup, and that is
Yes.
that is a fact. That is a
100%.
fact.
Why do you give me so much every day when I come in without makeup?
Because you also don't shower and you're wearing the clothes you wore the day before.
And also, this being a radio show where you have to be funny sometimes, that's quite a funny thing to just rip into someone because it's
Right.
it's going to wind you up, isn't it? If someone's like, "Oh, you didn't put on makeup today," because then you're going to be self-conscious and like, "Oh, I didn't put on makeup today." But actually, the actual general truth of it is, guys prefer it when girls don't wear makeup.
Wait,
Women
hold on,
don't
did-
believe that. They do. They refuse to believe that.
I'm not a fan of lipstick. Don't like lipstick. Girls wear lipstick all the time. I'm not a fan of the eyeliner. The foundation, it's sticky. Just chill. Soft skin, lovely, very cool. Nice eyes, cool. Normal lips.
Ed
Note
Sheeran
taken.
on the Bert Show. The name of the album, Multiply, new single is done. And thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. You've been great.
Cool.
Real, funny. The Bert Show.